Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Oh, right. Hello, hello. Okay, seems like y'all can hear me. Hold on, one moment. Hi, everybody. I really hope you can hear me. The AC's on and I muted the movie, so inappropriate sounds or voices that the computer or YouTube does not recognize will not block my live stream. So I think I got some pretty decent lighting. It's all coming from this way. So I turn off all the lights because probably here, after I stay up probably for some time, I'm going to end up going to bed. But I've had a really crappy day. And I honestly don't know where to begin, but I'm going to try to be honest and vent to you guys, because you guys so far have been the only ones that listen to me and the only ones I can express all the emotions that have built up inside of me over the last 2 years. And also the thing that's going to help is Amethyst. So while I hold this, I'm going to kind of talk to you guys and hope maybe some of you guys can listen. And just as a disclaimer, I guess, no disrespect to LGBT groups in Minot or in North Dakota or in any other state or country. No disrespect to the social groups that they make and the activities they do, but this is just my reactions, my analysis, my emotions, and my experience with my first Pride event. I've always seen YouTubers, specifically the gay YouTubers or supporters of the LGBTQ, and how they had so much fun with it. It was so enjoyable. You know, it felt nice to be like a community. It was just good vibes all around. It's all these positive vibes. And I like events like that. Not ones where I feel uncomfortable, where I feel invisible, where I feel physically uncomfortable. I like positive vibes like that. And this Pride event was anything but. And I know Minot it still feels to me like a pretty small town, but according to family members that have been here far longer, Minot is huge, but it's not big to me because I haven't been really impressed with everything so far. The only part of Minot I like is the mall and the fairgrounds, and maybe Oak Park, but other than that, that's pretty much it. I really don't like any other part of Minot. And don't get me started on it, because I want to use my channel and YouTube's live stream to help express this. So I've been to one Pride-ish kind of event last year, was it? Or was it this beginning of this year? I think it was last year, because that's where I got this bracelet. It says Pride Minot on it. You won't be able to see, but it's a rainbow bracelet, and I wish I could have more stuff like that. I only have a rainbow beanie, and that's it. I want more. But in time, maybe. That event was like a Pride Minot meeting. Apparently they meet like once or twice a month, and it's usually in a hotel room or in some kind of location where they discuss recent activities, perhaps bring in the president or the mayor or something like that. And they usually offer brunch and coffee and merch like this bracelet, and other people in the LGBT community and their families and their friends that support it usually go there. And I was like, oh, it's right near it was at the Vegas Motel. That was like a few steps away from my college at Minot State University. So pretty much I could just take the bus to school and then walk right up there. I was really expecting to do this all by myself, like I have been for the past 20 years. And I was like, okay. And I happened to tell the closest people in my family that actually know a bit about LGBT community, and they actually wanted to go with, which I was a little shocked because they never talk about it. They never talk about it in the family. It gets briefly talked about, but then ignored, or there are negative scowls and negative reactions from it. Specifically, a lot of negative words as if they're homophobic. But supposedly, my niece, who's now 16, is bisexual, but yet she's been going out with guys a lot, so I didn't quite understand that. But there's supposedly other secrets of hers that I won't reveal on here, out of respect for her. And my cousin, I think from the last time I heard, I didn't actually vocalize, she didn't actually tell me, which hurt a little bit because I thought we were really close. Supposedly she was bisexual as well, but yet she married a man and now divorced him and now has a boyfriend who's actually a man and who I actually think is homophobic. So I don't understand why they wanted to go with me. But I was like, I never exactly say no to a ride. Because I don't have a car, I don't have a license, I don't have a job, I don't even have freaking money for gas. So I was like, as long as you're willing to at least take me there and hang out for a few minutes, I always make sure, I plan to make sure, if they decide to bail out me in the last minute, which tends to happen quite a lot, then I would have to figure out a way how to get home by myself. Which was last year, I was only about an hour, maybe two, maybe even 15 minutes to walk all the way back home. And I was really excited to go. Even if they're going to talk about random stuff, I was willing to see if I can make any friends. Because Lord and behold, in all of Minot, I don't really have any friends my age. I don't even have any people that I actually can reach out to and talk to. I tend to have that strange thing where I like to be more surrounded by mature people and older people. I've been finding lately I actually kind of get to laugh and joke with people my age, but then they say something immaturely or insensitively, or say things that don't freaking make sense, or even attack me verbally, and I don't understand it, and then I just feel more alone than ever. So it was supposed to meet at the Vegas hotel, so I grabbed, of course, my little anxiety stuff of my little purse that I always carry about drawing stuff, my wallet, headphones, charger, gum, my bag of pencils. Every time I go to a social event, whether it's with family or the people of Minot, I always bring that purse with me, because that way, if I can't have anyone to talk to or hang out with, then I find like a table or a booth or somewhere nearby that I can hang out with for a few hours while I try to relax and figure out what to do next. That's my way of trying to take care of myself, being such a sensitive person and an introvert and a Scorpio at the same time. So we went. I was excited. My cousin dropped us off first because she was going to go find a parking spot. She didn't have her baby this time. I believe she was with Dad for a while. So it was just going to be my cousin, which out of all the family members in my whole family, I got along with her the most, because she's also weird. She also believes in rocks, and she also believes in spirituality and art and all that stuff, so I kind of connect with her sometimes. But there's times I don't want to be anywhere near her, just because she has moments where she irritates the fuck out of me, or she's really rude to me, and then I just don't want to talk to her. So anyway, she dropped off me and my niece, so we kind of hung out in the lobby, and it looked a little confusing because I didn't see no signs, and we were like a few minutes early, but not much, because it was going to start in like literally a few minutes. I kind of looked around. I didn't see no sign, and I was being a little anxious about asking the front desk where it was. And of course, my niece didn't do anything because she's shyer than me. So I was like, I saw a few people going into this little like meeting area, like literally right next to the front desk. And I saw rainbow stuff, and I was like, oh, either it's a kid event or it's an LGBT, Minot Pride event. So I kind of asked her, I was like, is this where it's going? You know, is this where it's happening? And she said, yes. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't see no sign. And so I went in, sat down, and more people started showing up. They didn't exactly have brunch or anything else there, but they had like, well, I think they had like a small bar area, but I didn't really do anything. I just brought a water with me or whatever. There was a motel, so you could go get some if you wanted. I sat at a table. My niece joined me. The more people showed up. It was actually quite a fun experience. There's actually a lot of girls that showed up to our table, and I was feeling more awkward because my cousin finally showed up and joined us. And there's actually people, and they were talking and talking. There was this girl who was lesbian, and me and her started talking because she saw my sketchbook that I was slowly drawing into because my anxiety was rising up. And I literally wanted to leave, or I wanted to like hide because there's so many people showing up. I'm moving this a little bit forward. My foot's falling asleep. Oh. Oh. Let's see if I can reorganize this. There you go. Anyway, it's actually quite a pleasant experience. I met 2 of them at least. I got a few pictures out of it. It seems like my niece was actually having fun too. She was smiling and actually socializing with people she didn't know. I was actually really impressed and happy because anymore I don't have situations like that with those 2 anymore. They're so busy with lives, they're stressed out, they're drinking or decide to be a big mouth little brat sometimes. So then I don't even want to hang out with them. But for once, that was an event I don't think I'll ever forget. Because it was actually felt like a family, like I was actually in some sort of sense of friendship. Like I was starting to feel a moment where I actually belonged. And then the meeting was over, and then, actually no, before the meeting was over, I went to go get one of these bracelets. And I saw there was an LGBTQ support group at my college, and I was like, oh my God. And I grabbed a bracelet and I sat back down, and one of the ladies who was actually giving out little cards that says, come join our club, you know, that kind of nonsense. And she looked at me and said, are you part of Minot State University? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you should come by our club sometime and join in. And I was like, I don't know if I would fit in at all. And she's like, oh, no problem. Just come on in anyway. And I'm like, oh my God, I came here to try it out and see what it was about and everything. God. And then I talked some more, and then we left, and we went and got some food, and then we pretty much went home. I was, of course, emotionally drained, but really happy to be there. I even wore my rainbow hat that I bought like weeks prior, and I got compliments on it. And it's one of those hats that you really think it fits your style, and you look stylish in it, but it also makes you feel so confident. It brings a sense of happiness and light when your life is pretty dark right now. So anyway, back to this Pride event. This Pride event was sometime in June or July. This was like in the beginning of the spring 2018 semester. I was like, okay. It's happening in Oak Park. I believe I can figure out how to get there. Again, I was thinking that, oh, well, everyone's going to be busy with life, and I'm not really exactly happy with a whole lot of them right now. So I don't really care if they even decide to join me. I figured if I do try to ask them, you know, for a ride or anything, or for, you know, if they wanted to come with, then they would only yell at me or say they're too busy or say they want to come, but then they don't show up. A lot of the times they get the latter. So then I was thinking about just going there by myself. You know, I'd take the bus or ask somebody for a ride. And I happened to mention it to a family event that we were at. I think we were at one of my younger niece's birthday parties in Oak Park, the same place, but near the splash pad. And I happened to mention, oh, I'm going to be kind of busy this week. I'm going to be doing 2 things, going to kind of a Pride event. And my niece, you know, attention was focused on me, and her ears were perked up and everything. you know, because she thinks she's a cat or a potato sometimes, an ugly potato. And she's like, what kind? I was like, oh, it's just a Pride run, walk vendors thing. You know, you go there, you walk around the vendors. I thought it'd be kind of cool just to see. My friend Selena will be there, and her mom, and, you know, at least I'll have someone to go with. And to be honest, I didn't think I really wanted her to come because as of late, her big mouth has, I feel like, insulted me because her Mr. Obvious attitude and forced behavior irritated me and embarrassed me in front of my aunt. So she just made claims that were not true about me with a snide, cocky little smile that I don't like. So she wanted to come with, but I'm like, I don't think you'll be able to come with because Kathy's busy with petting zoos and rugby and a bunch of other bullshit. This is my drink I bought this morning. Monster Mango Loco Juice. Day of the Dead. My favorite can. Anyway, big pile of dinosaur shit. Watching Jurassic 3, that's why I needed it, so I can do this. Anyway, I was all excited, and on one of my paintings excursions I got done, and when I wanted to catch a bus, or I wanted to head home because I was exhausted, I was sweaty, and I was just in kind of a little of a stressed out mood, and I went ahead, and I was like, okay, I want to go home now. My first ride never showed up, so I'll go to another person. And Selena's mom, Amber, usually is the one that kind of helps me out with rides. So when she finally did show up, she picked me up, started driving me home, and I was like, well, there's a Pride event coming. And she's like, oh, yeah. You know, I'm definitely planning on going. Selena wants to go. It's usually our thing that we go. And I'd be happy to even come pick you up, take you, and when you're ready to go, I'll come take you back. And I was like, that would be awesome. My mind was literally blown of how nice this woman was. There was times I could sense, you know, the distancing and the fighting and the struggles between her and her own daughter, but it's so nice when people actually do that for me. It's crazy. I barely know her, and she's willing to help me with something like that. It's like, okay, you know, you got a deal. You know, let's hope. The only thing I hope that the weather was going to be nice, and they actually followed with their promise. I guess it. Who is this? Anyway, it wasn't exactly a promise. It was just more of, you know, suggestion, or I guess maybe a claim. And she said, oh, I'd be willing to offer you that ride, to come pick you up and everything. And I was like, okay, that's a plan. So as soon as it started coming, I was like, okay, I got to shave my head. I got to give myself a haircut, which I pretty much did. And then I was like, okay, I got to shower. I make sure to pick out a cute outfit. Do I want to put makeup on? Do I want to do not? If I want to put makeup on, I got to, you know, fix these eyebrows. I got to do everything. You know, my mind was just trying to figure out left and right, you know, who's going to do this, who's going to do that. And my niece even offered to do my makeup for the Pride event. And I was like, that would be cool because I suck at makeup. I don't have hardly any makeup. And every time I actually had decent makeup and brushes and everything, they all got borrowed and I never got them back. So one day I hope to get decent makeup for my face to cover up these horrible moles, my blackheads, and be able to fix my eyebrows so that way they're fabulous. Anyway, you know, the day came. It was like 2 days before. So like, okay, I got done with the Velva birthday party. I can now focus on this next event, which was the Pride thing. And here's where things also took a turn. One of my friends on Facebook, who actually lives in Minot, I always think of her as like an old lady or a wise soul or something, but she actually looks younger, like she's in my age, which is my 20s. Maybe late 20s, I guess. I don't look in my late 20s. Anyway, I'm trying not to rant. And she offered, because we were kind of just talking, and I said, the summer's almost over. I really want to go swimming. You know, most likely my aunt will never keep her promise. And the lake that I want to go to is literally always feels like hours outside of town. And the only way I'd be able to get out there is if I have a ride. And she's like, oh yeah, I live in Plaza, North Dakota or something. And there's a few lakes where I was at, and it's just beautiful there. You know, we can go out there for a few hours this weekend, and then, you know, Sunday or whatever, something like that, we can go camping. And I was like, that would be so fucking awesome. My mind was like, you know, this woman that I haven't met face to face, which I know most of you say, oh, that's stupid, you know, that's really dangerous for you to go out with a stranger that you haven't met. Well, one, I'm in my late 20s. Two, I'm pretty sure I can handle myself. Three, it's none of your damn business. No one in my life has been that concerned for me, so I've been, again, handling most of my stuff for the last 20-something years. Granted, I took a self-defense classes, but I know how to handle my judgment of capabilities a little bit. So anyway, I was like, well, the only problem with that is I would love to go. There was a Pride thing this Saturday, and I know you said you planned maybe for us to go for like a whole weekend full. And all her kids were busy with their dad or hanging out somewhere, so she was free. And her job usually is tarot card reading, so that was kind of her way of income, I guess, which I don't quite understand how that works, but, you know, whatever. And I talked to her because I thought she'd be mad. She is sort of a religious person, but she didn't much care for church, so I was just confused on that at times. But then she did another cool thing. She said, well, why don't you go ahead and go to this Pride thing Saturday? I might go ahead and go Friday and just hang out there for a bit. And then whenever you're done Saturday and you get home, let me know, and I'll come get you, and we will go ahead and at least do Saturday for the whole night or something, and then you can bring a pill or whatever, and we can camp for at least till Sunday, and then I'll take you back. And I was like, that works. That's just perfect. And so I was like, okay, Amber's Selena's mom. Now the plan in my head was what she said. The thing started at 9 and ended at 2. I was like, okay, if I got up around 6 or 7, get ready, make sure I eat breakfast, start packing, maybe shower if I can, and the rest of the time I just wait for her to message me. She come picks me up, and then I'll go enjoy my first Pride event. And, well, things started to take a little turn for the worst. After the Velva birthday party of my niece, who's now 9, they wanted to come over to my house Friday evening and spend the night. I was like, okay, I really don't mind. You know, there's a chance that they'll be babysitting money, which I wanted to make sure I had just in case there's something cool at the vendors and I wanted to buy it. You know, just stuff for me. I rarely get a chance to actually have stuff done for me. Or, you know, buy stuff for me, having a time, you know, try to live in the moment or whatever. And, nope. They happened to stay, oh no, it wasn't Friday, it was Thursday evening, so they pretty much stayed 1, 2, 3, basically 2 days, but it was 2 nights and 1 day. And about Friday evening, I was like, wait, I really don't want him to stay. They need to, Kathy hopefully will be coming home from her late night working in the hospital and come take these kids home, and Kirk can go watch them, or Fancy can go watch them. Something. Casey even. You know, at least for a few hours, somewhere, someone can watch them. There's tons of family in Minot that they can use. Nope. The girls wanted to stay another night. They begged me because of Xbox and Minecraft. That's like the only reason they wanted to stay. So apparently the house they live in, their room's Kirk is so bad, so boring, or something of the sort. They didn't want to go home right away. But yet, somewhere inside of my head, I really wanted them to go home so I can get some sleep early and get up early and have enough, energy to get up, get dressed, and then leave, because I didn't want to be tired this whole time. But no, they wanted to stay another night, feeling sorry for their issues, specifically my 10-year-old niece, who I know how she really feels living with her aunt and uncle and your sisters. I didn't want her to be unhappy. I didn't want to break her heart and have her whine and complain to me more. So I was like, okay, fine. They can stay a night, but I told my aunt I have that Pride thing at 9 a.m., so maybe you guys can come pick them up around between 7 or 8. And she made a suggestion that, okay, Kirk, her husband, my uncle, which I do not like, but I tolerate him, he said, in the morning, Kirk can drop me off around 7 and come get the girls around 8. And then maybe he can give you a ride to the Oak Park. I was like, that works as long as, you guys come. And my clock was recently off, like the last time Kathy took me out to supper or whatever. And my clock was like a little off, so I wasn't sure why that was. It wasn't daylight savings time or anything. So I was like, okay, as the girls got done with supper and was getting ready for bed, I was like, okay. I told them what was going to happen. And I said, I'm going to get you guys up at around 6 or 7. So that way, if we need to eat breakfast, you guys have time to collect, excuse me, all your stuff. And that way you're ready when Kirk comes, because he's one of those guys that you got to be ready like that. You got to be ready now. You can't waste any more time. He'll get impatient. Say, oh, come on, you can't find your stuff because you don't know how to look. Blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, that'll be a plan. And they said, okay. So I set my alarm for about 6:15. But for some reason, I slept through it again because I went to bed around 11 midnight. And the girls, of course, they want to stay up and watch a movie because that's the only way they can sleep. They pretty much stayed up, I think, till the same time I did. And I think they managed to turn the Xbox off, which was nice. And I seemed to have slept through my alarm clock. And it was now 7:00 something. And I heard a knocking at my door, and I was like, wait, who the fuck is that? The only person I could think of is my other roommate, but not a roommate, sister, Melissa. And, so I got up. I kind of was wearing a really, really super loose sweatshorts that I need to throw away. But I never have the gall to do it, so those shorts are pretty much ruined because my ex wore them, and she was probably about 2 sizes bigger than me, and so they were completely overstretched and totally ruined. But she needed some clothes because she didn't have any. All her clothes were stolen, and so I let her use them. And then all of a sudden, he came in early, like maybe 50 minutes early. And I was like, well, I just dropped off Kathy, so I thought I'd come pick you up and we go for breakfast. And I was like, really? You couldn't, let me sleep in for a little while? Or you go get breakfast yourself and then take these kids with you? Well, I was like, if he's going to pay, which I really sense he was, he can buy me coffee and Pop-Tarts for all I care and drop me off and take the kids away. I was literally all kitted out right now. So we went to McDonald's, and I got my babysitting money of $40, which was really good money to me. And I think I wore a cute outfit, my purple button-up tied shirt, a very loose tank top, my sports bra, and my purple shorts and my belt to hold them up, and then my rainbow beanie, and with my new cut hair, I think I actually need to cut it shorter, but it's really hard to do it with tiny scissors and no help. Anyway, we ate breakfast. I got a frappe mocha, which didn't exactly last till well, actually it did last. I got there and I was like, okay, it's about 8:40, 8:50. People are starting to show up and set up their booths, and I can see the stage and I can see the Minot Pride booth. I was like, okay, I'll find a place near the shade and give them their space. So I kind of sat a ways from the actual area because I didn't want to bother them. I always feel like I'm a bother or a burden to everybody. So, and then all of a sudden I sit down near this huge kind of picnic area that actually had shade. It was really nice and cool there because it looked like it was going to get hot because I saw the temperature today was going to be like in the 80s, so I didn't really want to be in the heat too long. I don't mind heat, I just can't do a lot or I feel weak. I start to get grumpy and I feel like really tired, even if I do have a healthy meal or whatever. And then all of a sudden, I hear this loud yell of what it sounds like my name from somewhere in the area, and I was like, is that Selena and her mom already? Do they actually get a booth? Or someone from school? That's the only thing I can think of. So I picked up my stuff again, my purse and my phone. I walked there, and it was somebody from school. She was cutely dressed in a flower crown and everything, and with a bunch of friends, or so-called friends, and I was like, oh my God, it's the nice girl that talks a lot, and who's also a mother but goes out drinking a lot. It's a really awkward space between her and me. I didn't stay very long. I talked for a bit, and then the other girls went to go to their booths, and I was like, okay, it's pretty much about 9:02. They were mentioning, if you want to sign up for the run or walk, come up here, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I kind of want to go to the run or walk, just, get some exercise for today. Because I assumed that Amber and Selena were coming. They can either join me in the walk or, sit here and chill out while I go do it. But I didn't want to start without them. So I pretty much found a picnic area where those girls were and sat down and just started bringing out my drawing stuff. I brought out my face painting pens and started drawing that heart-shaped shape on my face and coloring it with the rainbow so I had something. Because I took a shower the previous night and I felt all clean. I had deodorant on. I had a fresh thing of coffee in me and breakfast, so I was pretty ready to go. But what happens more as time passes, it gets hotter and hotter. The shade starts disappearing from the center of the area, and all the vendors have their own canopies. And then the shade from the theater, and even the prides might not have their own canopy where it's like a shade. But yet, in the center where most of the visitors will be, there's no shade. There's even one little, some kind of booth where you can buy like drinks and stuff, I think. I think there was one booth next to me that was actually giving out water. But I was like, what the hell? I was like, okay, they should have water fountains here. They should have shade for the visitors. Picked a different area. They should be selling waters all around the area instead of just in that one. It looked like a feminine colored tower where there's one window and then they're selling, whatever they sold there. I was definitely planning on going in over there and see what they have and buying something. Because I'm really in the mood for ice cream, but with the day that I had today, that ice cream would have melted. Anyway, as it came to turn, there's no Wi-Fi in Oak Park at all. And I didn't know anybody there that would offer me maybe one of their hotspots if they had any, so I can go message Amber and Selena and see where they're at. And it came to be about 9:35, so like my anxiety was rising because people were starting to show up, even kids and other people what I think were from the LGBT community. And I was starting to oogle them a little bit because they were pretty or I sensed something, good about them. But again, I was freaking out internally, and my music I didn't feel like my music was going to help, so I tried to draw, but I still felt like people were watching me. You know, the paranoia was sinking in. So I pretty much grabbed my stuff and I walked out of the park, and I was like, okay, I need to go to a gas station or someplace that has Wi-Fi so I can connect to get a ride, because it's the weekend and the Minot transit buses don't run on these days. And I don't have a credit card enough to use a Lyft, unfortunately. So I was like, okay, hopefully I know there's a Loaf and Jug nearby Oak Park, so maybe if I'm really hoping, praying like with like 95% of all my willpower and strength that they will have Wi-Fi so I can hopefully connect to Amber and Selena or somebody that will come with me, because I could just, you know, be feeling it inside my freaking gut that if I dared to walk around this whole area or do the walk and run, that I would be the outcast, I'd be the black sheep. I felt like I was alone. I was literally sitting on that bench that was pretty much in the center of this whole ring of vendors, and I felt like people were staring at me. I felt like I was a freaking black sheep with a big, huge fucking forehead, or a light bulb on her forehead or something. I felt so awkward. I felt alone. I felt invisible. No one was even helping me. I literally did not have any water on me either. So like, okay, either I get some water and try to be calm and relax, or I leave. But I was thinking it would only be a temporary leave, because I'm trying to contact them to see where they're at. They should have been here by now. If something's up, then they need to let me know. That'd be the only rational, kind thing for them to do. So I went to Loaf and Jug. I was like, okay, I went in there. I grabbed Fiji water, which is now all empty. I got this energy drink, and I got a bag of Skittles as a memory for pride. And, well, there was no Wi-Fi at Loaf and Jug. It's like, well, what if I go up a little further? I know there's some buildings, because that was the neighborhood I used to live in before I moved in with my brother and my sister. So I moved all the way over there, nothing. It's like, okay, I got my stuff. I was like, do I go back to Oak Park when there's clearly no Wi-Fi and I'll be alone, and those things only increase till I actually have what I think is a panic attack? Or do I start walking and hopefully there's something else up the way? So the only thing I can think of, I know there's a Dairy Queen within that way, or I keep going around another path where I think there's other buildings there. But it's also a lot of just random ass buildings. I know there's a school nearby too. It's like, I really want some ice cream, but there's also AC there, but good chances they won't even have Wi-Fi. But something was telling me to go the other way. So I started walking and walking and walking. I stopped every few bits to get a drink of water or to sit in some shade, because it felt like it was like close to the 90s. That's how hot it felt. And my feet were aching. I felt like I had blisters. I felt like I was sweating my ass off. My heart was racing a little faster than usual. So I literally had to force myself to stop. I finally, after I stopped at like the water treatment center, I finally walked under 2 bridges, 2 inclines, and I finally stopped by Magic City Schools, which is basically a weird-ass school that sits on top of a hill near Burdick XP. I was like, okay, sometimes schools have Wi-Fi, sometimes it's free for guests, or whatever. So I kind of sat down under some shade. I sat behind like the lights. There's that little long-ass shadow where the light is. So I stopped there. I went to Wi-Fi, and I actually connected to the school. It wasn't there 100%, but it was still there. So I messaged somebody, a friend of my aunt's, and I said, I got done with the Pride thing. It was a total failure. I want to go home, but I'm a little lost. I've been walking because the people that were supposed to give me a ride home didn't show up. Can you help me? And she's like, I'm at Walmart. I can be there in the 30 minutes. Where you at? So I told her, and she told me to keep walking up 16th a little bit more, and then I'll come get you. So I was like, I really don't want to get up because my feet were sore. They were aching. I didn't want to go anywhere. I felt like I've been walking for hours. That's how fucking tired I was. Not because I wasn't used to walking, it wasn't because of my weight, it's because I was stressed out, anxiety was riding me, my emotions were breaking into millions of pieces, and it was that fucking hot out. I needed to stop and drink water and just get home quicker, so that way I don't get like a heat stroke or heat exhaustion. So I was finally walking and she pulled up. I literally had to run in the middle of the street. She stopped traffic, and I got in and she took me home. And I told her what happened. I even vented to other friends on Facebook after I took a hot shower. I ordered supper. I drank all my energy drinks. I'm still eating these and plenty of water for the rest of the day. I'm in my jammies, so I'm in more comfortable clothing, but I'm still kind of thinking over what had happened, and I've been slowly going down this very unhappy vibes. Because, let me just get real with you guys, very, very, very serious and on level with you guys. I really wanted this first Pride event to be special. I wanted to experience with people I knew, even though I never actually hung out with them a lot. I wanted to experience it with someone I knew, so that way I can, take hold of these new emotions, maybe learn something about myself, maybe make some new friends, just in a positive experience. I'm still kind of in the questioning phase. I've had my first kiss. I got to cuddle in the water. And I actually got, positive hugs. And I flirt. But kind of this cute, dorky, smart-ass guy way, I guess. I'm still a tomboy at heart. And it really sucked that no one showed up. So as soon as I got home, or as soon as before I left that school, where my only way of connection, I messaged Amber or Celine. I said, did you guys ever manage to go to the Pride thing? I only messaged Selena this time. As soon as I got home, I relaxed, I ordered food. I actually got a message back from them. Let's see, I got there at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, about 8 hours after I had left the event. And Selena happened to message, I'll be there at 12. And I got home around 1, maybe 2 p.m. And I was like, now you tell me? You could have told me this further when I was in the car, or messaged me, or put it, told me in one of my posts. Because I pretty much talked about this Pride event for the last couple of weeks, and nothing from any of them. I don't like being lied to. I don't like being dumped like this. It really feels like they took advantage of me in whatever way. Friendship-wise, I felt like they didn't care. It felt like they just literally wasted my time when I could have all done this by myself. I don't know if I could have done this by myself, but I'm a little teared up about it because my whole first event was just ruined. It sucked. It felt like all my answers, all the possible questions I have, was just thrown out the door and burned. Like, every time I try to do something like this, any kind of big events like this, and the answers are literally within reach, and then they just fall away because of my choices or because of someone else. It's usually because of someone else. And this time it was someone else. And then I get a message back from Amber saying, I got heat exhaustion today at work, so I couldn't come because I didn't do the heat. I'm sorry. Sorry I couldn't come, but Selena was there working. And then Selena messaged me saying, I didn't see you, because there was already 2 by the time I got that. So the event was over. And I mentioned, I was like, my brother said the same thing, that there's always next time, at least I showed up. That's kind of a small step in the right direction. I was like, you don't understand. This was something important to me. This was about my identity, about who I am, and maybe who I'm meant to be with. You know, what possible hints or clues to who's going to be there at my side. Basically, it was all about love and acceptance from one specific person. And it got fucked up by these two people. I'm not mad at them. I'm just really pissed off that things screwed up for them, whether they were telling the truth or lying. It just really hurt. And I even went on Ponytown, because I'm an MLP fan, to maybe RP or just stand there and, you know, watch everybody. And I was my first OC Brave Star, she's an Alicorn. And I sat there and was like, my first Pride event was ruined. And this person saw it and started talking. And I said, don't feel sad, don't feel like that. You know, be happy. And it literally felt like this person was telling me how to feel. That pissed me off even more, and I left. And when I tried to talk my emotions with much closer friends that are my age, the only thing that happens is they blow it off, they ignore it, or they literally make a joke out of it and talk about themselves. And, oh yeah, a few dots later, themselves. So again, it tells me that they don't care. They don't exactly understand that I am sad. I am unhappy. I have been hurt. You know, at least they could, I thought friends, specifically ones that I've known for so long, would realize when I'm sad, or when I'm unhappy, or when I'm not myself, that they would take the opportunity, now since I am home, to see what is wrong, to ask me what is wrong, to get me to open up to them. But half anymore, I feel like they don't. And that makes me feel so much more alone than I'm hoping some of you will understand that. So right now, I'm trying to sort out my emotions. I'm probably going to end up typing up my story just to vent out all these emotions right now. Because they are so deep in that closet, they're so deep in that well right now. And the way people have been treating it really hurts. I only managed to vent to one person, and she agrees with me that it was very rude and insensitive of these people to not have let me know that something was wrong, to not let me know beforehand. And she also gave me at least some positive note that there's always next time, and that I will figure it out. So this is a shout out to my friend Coral Ortella Gould from IMVU. You are an amazing mother. Don't let anyone tell you that. You're an amazing, beautiful friend that I've ever known. I wish there was more people like you out there, specifically in Minot, because some of us feel more alone than you. So that's my live stream today. Sorry. Now, with the other one, with the lake, I got home, I cleaned up, I was all excited for Amelia to come pick me up and take me camping. Or not camping, to the lake, because I really just want to escape Minot. I want to escape the house. I want to escape family for a few hours. I just really want to escape everyone and hang out either with myself or with friends, actual friends. And the only thing she tells me is something along the line of, you know, I don't exactly have everything together. I can come pick you up, and we can go pack the car, and we can go to Van Hook for a few hours. Or we could say this for next week, when I can actually plan things clearly, and then we could go camping as well. And I was like, so basically she's pretty much saying she can't go do it either. At least they're not 80%, 90% like she promised. So I felt hurt even more, and I wanted to be selfish for once. I literally wanted to say, my mind, my head was telling me, say yes, say yes. You want this. You want to go swimming. You miss this sense of water. You miss being near water. It will make you feel better. It will make you feel like you're not alone. It will make you feel more free than you have been in the last 4 or 5 years since she died. But then my heart said, no, this isn't right. You shouldn't be selfish. That basically rushing it, and then something bad will go wrong. And you end up having to go home early. So why don't you wait till next weekend when she can actually get things right, and then it'll be actually a lot more smoother. So I said next week. I want to be able to calm down and relax. And then she said, okay, that's good. That's giving me a chance to come to Minot, get things ready for next time. So that has been my another bad day, again, for the second time. So thank you all who watched this, and thank you all for those that have had really bad pride experiences and know the feelings that I have expressed here. Hopefully the next one won't be as bad. Give this video, live stream, a thumbs up if you liked it, and maybe offer something in the comments of what was your worst pride experience. What was so bad about it, and what do you hope for in the next one? In the next one, I hope the same thing as this one, that I'll be able to find some answers, a mix of friends that I actually can connect with, that are actually a lot closer than they appear, and maybe an evolved experience from this one. So I thank you guys. I love you. Happy Pride Month. I know it's late, but this was the only time the Pride Minot could do it. So I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for listening. You guys have no idea how much I need these. So even if I can't do daily vlogs exactly, I can still do these. So thank you guys. I love you. Have a nice night.